We're doing our safety video on cold-related illness such as hypothermia and frostbite. Hypothermia occurs when your body loses heat faster than it can produce heat and your body temperature falls below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It can be caused by exposure to cold weather or if you fall into cold water. It can also be caused by ongoing exposure if you're somewhere that is under 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Signs and symptoms of hypothermia usually develop slowly. It may include shivering, but that can stop as your body temperature drops, slurred speech or mumbling, slow, shallow breathing, weak pulse, clumsiness or lack of coordination, drowsiness, and very low energy, confusion, even memory loss, and eventually loss of consciousness.
If you suspect somebody has hypothermia, you should call your 911 or local emergency number. Then immediately take the following steps. You should gently move the person out of the cold, preferably indoors. You should get them off of the ground, lay them on a blanket, make sure they're horizontal on said blanket. If further warming is needed, do so gradually. For example, apply a warm compress to their underneath their arms or in their groin. You want to avoid areas like that, the extremities like the hands, the arms, because that can cause a blood clot and cold blood to return back to the body or to the heart. You're not going to want to re-warm the person too quickly. Do not attempt to warm the arms and legs, like I said. That's the major issue. If you warm their arms, they will get cold blood in their heart. That results in a blood clot. That's one of the main things working in the wind industry, that cold things are really what we do.
There's a risk of frostbite as well when you're working in the wind industry, so we should avoid steel-toe boots, wear insulated gloves and outerwear, skull caps under our hard hats, and don't stay still for too long. If you're starting to feel like things are, getting numb, you want to get up, move around, shake it out, make sure that circulation is keeping up. Frostbite, at first this cold skin gets like a prickly feeling. Eventually it goes numb, then it starts to look red and white, sometimes bluish white or gray, sort of yellow. It can be a lot of colors, purple, brown, depending on the severity of the condition, and usually skin color of the person. Hard or waxy looking skin, like it's literally freezing. It looks like it's like a frozen piece of meat. Clumsiness, if your joints get stiff. And then eventually when you warm yourself back up, sometimes blistering can happen in really bad cases. Frostbite is most common on the fingers, toes, nose, ears, cheeks, and chin. Because of skin numbness, you may not realize you have frostbite until it's too late. Changes in the color of the affected area might be difficult to see on darker skin as well.
Frostbite occurs in several stages. Frost nip is a mild form of frostbite. Continued cold exposure leads to numbness in the affected area. As your skin warms, you may feel pain and tingling. Frost nip doesn't cause permanent skin damage. Superficial frostbite causes slight changes in skin color. The skin may begin to feel warm. That's a sign of serious skin involvement, like serious skin frostbite. If you treat frostbite with rewarming at this stage, the surface of the skin may appear like molted. It'd be bad. You may notice stinging and burning and swelling. A fluid-filled blister may occur 12 to 36 hours after rewarming your skin, so you gotta watch out for that. Deep, severe frostbite, that's like the worst frostbite you could possibly get. It affects all layers of the skin as well as the tissues below, your muscle, your tendons. The skin will turn white, gray. You'll lose sensation of the cold and the pain and discomfort in the area. You'll lose all that. Joints and muscles will stop working. Large blisters will form 24 to 48 hours after rewarming. The tissue turns black and hard, and then it dies.
Also, I wanted to go back to hypothermia really quick and say that While you don't want to be doing too much around the body when when they have a risk of hypothermia, because you don't want to cause like heart attack or stress on the lungs or heart. If the person is unconscious, you definitely want to make sure that you start CPR. If you have an AED, or if you're on a work site where you can get that emergency action plan going, you want to do that and then help the person out. But most of the time, you're not going to have to worry about CPR unless they are literally lifeless. And one thing we did figure out, though, if we're doing it in a wind turbine and say somebody falls and they're hanging outside the nacelle and it's really cold, and maybe you don't know exactly how long they've been up there, it could be a secondary illness that they get. So they could be injured from the fall, and then they could also be at risk of hypothermia depending on how long they're up there.
Right, especially frostbite. If you got the high winds, negative 10 degrees will turn to negative 40 degrees, and
really quick.
5 minutes outside will result in frostbite guaranteed.
So we did a little short simulation of somebody responding to a conscious victim who may be suffering from hypothermia. So we hope you guys like that.
Are you okay?
Really cold.
You're really cold? How come you don't got a jacket on out here? Forget it, people. I forget things all the time. Well, good thing I didn't forget these. Let's go ahead and get you off that very cold ground. There you go. Sit right on that there. We're going to take these hand warmers. We're going to put these in your armpits, okay? Here goes another blanket for you. Put that on top of it. There. This is a wool blanket. Works really well. A couple of hot bottles of water for you. Go ahead and put those in between your legs and then your stomach there, your abdomen. I'm going to dial for the police or an ambulance to come out here and help.
So after viewing our little simulation, we wondered, do you notice what we did out of order? Is there anything that you think we should have done differently? And let us know in your replies.